In this video, I'm going to give you some information about how to effectively take notes while watching a lecture. We're going to use the Cornell note-taking system because many students find this a very useful and helpful way to organize their notes. You can use paper or pencil or laptop for taking these notes. For this video, I'm going to use paper and pencil because it's a little bit easier. So let's get started. Here's our paper. The first thing you want to do is divide your paper into 4 sections. You can do that with 3 lines, very easy. You can also do this on the computer, of course. Now, the 4 different sections have 4 different purposes. The top section is a good place to write the topic or the name of the lecture. That makes it easier to find later when you're looking before a quiz or before some assignment you have to do in class. It's also good to write the date because the date might be helpful when you're taking a quiz later. And you should always put your name on notes. In case you lose your notes, someone can find you and give them back to you. So here's an example. I've written down Cornell Notes because that's this lecture, so I'm taking notes on this lecture video, the date and a name. The biggest part of the paper will be used for taking your notes. And there are some key ideas about taking your notes. First of all, you want to leave a lot of space between the notes. This can help you if you have to go back and put some extra information, or if you forgot some information, you have lots of space to write it in. You can also save time by writing abbreviations. So for example, instead of writing summarize, I might want to put sum. Now it's very important that if you're going to use abbreviations or shortened words, that you remember what they are later, because it won't help you if you're going to use these notes to review before a quiz and you cannot read them. So remember, if you're going to shorten words, use a system you will remember. Now let's look at the other side. On the other side, we're going to write down the key or the main points of the lecture. So this is a kind of review activity. You're going to look at your notes and drawings and take out the most important parts. I'm going to write them over here. You might also want to put some key vocabulary. So for example, if your topic had some special vocabulary that you think might be used on a future exam or might be part of an essay you need to write, this is a good place to put that also. Now this is a review. You do this after you listen to the lecture. So the notes and the drawings are during the lecture, and the key or main points are after the lecture. Again, we have one more activity for after the lecture, and that's at the bottom. That's a summary. Now, a summary is basically the whole lecture in 1 or 2 sentences. So if you write a very short explanation of the lecture, think about if you were going to explain the lecture to a student who was absent that day. How could you do it quickly? That's a summary. Now, why do we take notes? One of the reasons we take notes is we're going to need them again. We're going to need to remember this information again. Maybe you'll have a quiz or an exam. You might have to write a paper or do a project, and these notes can help you. So when you go back, some of this information will help you. For example, the topic of the lecture, the name and the date can help you find the notes easily. All right, especially if you keep them organized in a book or in a folder on your computer. When you look at the notes section, you're going to get some details about the information you learned from the lecture. And of course, you want to look for overall understanding of the lecture and the ideas from the lecture in the key points and the summary. So that is the Cornell note-taking system. I hope this helps you take notes in class when you're listening to your teacher's lectures or any lectures that you attend at the university.